What does that spell?
Little sister.
Little sister.
Hey guys.
We're back.
We're back. A little bit with the BRIT. First of all, we just wanted to say, wow. We are like shocked and overwhelmed and so super grateful for all of you guys that have watched our first video, that have subscribed, that have left us comments.
Yeah, lots of comments, yeah.
So many people have shared their stories of infertility with us. I've cried a lot. I'm the emotional one. I cry a lot. So
Although I did have one got me.
Yeah. So we just it's crazy. Like we've had so many people reach out, and this is not what we were expecting at all. So
yeah.
This is so cool, and we just have you guys to thank for that. And huge shout out to the Miller fam.
Whoop, whoop.
We could not have done this without them.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're super.
I guess I should say y'all, seeing as I know.
Y'all.
I know that I can't do that. It doesn't sound right. No.
We live in Tennessee. You guys know, obviously, Dan is British, so.
They might not know.
Okay, well, Dan's British. The y'all just doesn't.
But yeah, the
doesn't work.
one thing that really touched me on my last video, so it wasn't left in our comment section, but one of my really good friends from back home, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. He reached out to me on another social media platform, and kind of going through exactly the same experience that we went through. Not with Leighton, our first one, but with Hadley, our second one. So for him to reach out to me and kind of say, you know, your guys' video was great. It's really left us some hope, and like we said in our first video, like that's all we're trying to do is give some people some hope who are struggling through the same things that we were. So they're going through the whole process now, and I'm trying to hold his hand and walk him through it. So he knows who he is. So if you're out there, buddy, thinking of you.
Yeah, so it's just been super cool to see all the positive feedback and the likes and the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Miller fam, they've been awesome, super helpful for us. So when we started this, or when I started this, it was for National Infertility Awareness Week, and I started it over on my Instagram page. And the Millers told us, hey, you guys could make a YouTube video, and we never thought in our wildest dreams that it would ever be something that we would do. So now that we've put our first video out there, we realize like we didn't even really introduce ourselves.
We've actually dressed up for this video as well.
I put some makeup on.
Like, she walked down the stairs. I was like, who are you?
Mom, who is?
Where's my mom? Where's my wife?
So like we've watched the video a couple times, and finally I looked at Dan and I said, Dan, we didn't even really like introduce ourselves. People are like, who are they?
Well, because originally, you did an Instagram TV thing, and
it
was
for people, my followers on my personal Instagram who knew me and knew Dan and knew our stories. So we sort of are going to backtrack a little bit on this video just for a second to introduce us and who we are and our family, and then we're going to share kind of part 2, I guess, of our.
And if you thought part
journey.
1 was stressful, part 2 was was double.
But there was a silver lining at the
There
end.
was.
So anyway, I'm Kylie.
I'm Dan.
And we've been married for.
Or I have to say Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan. That's the American version.
Otherwise, I get called Don.
I will
John.
never try a British accent.
We'll leave that to Stephen.
Yeah,
Miller.
we'll leave that to Stephen because I just can't. It's not good.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kylie and Dan, we've been married for 9 years.
Come on, the woman's the one that's meant to get it right.
I think it's 9 years.
It is 9 years.
9 years this July. And we've been together for 12 years.
11.
11 years. Okay, seems like a lot longer.
Yeah.
I'm from Michigan.
Solihull, England.
From Solihull, England. We met when I was in college at a small school in Indiana.
Tell them how we met, Kai. What did you do?
Oh, that's a whole other story. I stalked him on the side of a soccer field. I will totally admit that. I Googled him, Facebooked him before I even knew his last name.
Don't get into too much detail.
He claims that I told the girl I was babysitting for to fake an injury so that we would have to both run on the field at the same time, and that's how we met. I have no recollection of that.
That would make a good movie, though.
Yeah, he sticks to that story. But anyway, yeah, we've been together for a while, and we have moved
from Michigan.
From Michigan to Tennessee. We've lived here in Tennessee for the last 7 years. This July, 7 years, and we love it. We love being in Tennessee. We love the area that we live, and we've started our family here, raising our family here, and we
And talking of the family, we have one boy and now one girl.
Yeah, our son Leighton is 5 and he is
5 going on 15.
Yeah, just full of life and energy and sass. And independence as 5-year-olds are. And
he's a mini me.
Yeah, he's Dan. He's at preschool right now, so we can't say hi to him. But yeah, he's 5. He's headed off to kindergarten next year. Our baby.
We found out yesterday, and that's a whole other video of.
Yeah, we'll make another video on that.
Committing to schools at the age of 4 and going for testing, it's
kindergarten. But we got some really great news about an awesome school and a kindergarten for him next year, so we're super excited about that. So that's our little Leighton, and that is kind of who we talked about in our first video. You know, our journey of having him and first child, and he's just. I love that boy. He's an awesome kid. We're his parents, I guess.
Yeah, I should hope so.
We have to say that. So yeah, so Leighton is 5, and you know, after he was born, we obviously knew that we wanted to have more kids and give him a sibling. So when he turned 1, we started trying, and he turned 2, and he turned 3, and he turned 4, and it was really disheartening and frustrating. But at the same time, it was this weird mix of emotion because it's like we have this beautiful baby boy, and he's wonderful. Mm-hmm. But in our hearts, we just knew that our family wasn't complete. So, you know, we'll talk about that journey to get baby number 2. But now we have our sweet, sweet baby girl. Her name is Hadley, and today she is 7 weeks old.
7 weeks old.
7 weeks old. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
We kept her alive for 7 weeks.
Yeah, we kept 2 kids alive for 7 weeks.
Good job, babe.
We did it.
I think you kept her alive. I haven't really done. I don't have the
goods.
Yeah.
So those are our 2 kids, and we're just, you know, trying to do the best
keep
we
them
can,
alive.
Keep them alive, and be good parents. And
so enough of us. Let's get on to why they're coming to see us and watch the video. So yeah, as Kylie was saying, we had Leighton, and then you know, year 1 went by, year 2, year 3, and you know, and you start thinking, oh, it's the same thing. Same thing's happening. What are we doing wrong? You know, we went back to doing all the things that we were doing with Leighton.
I think there was an added layer though, because if you guys remember from our first video, you know, we did all the infertility treatments up into IVF, which for those of you that don't know, that's in vitro fertilization. But then with Leighton, you know, we ended up getting pregnant on our own, no medication, no surgery. Well, you know, we'd done the surgery, but we naturally conceived Leighton. So,
and I guess we kind of thought that we were going to have the same experience.
Yeah,
somewhat.
I guess naively we thought, well, okay, it happened with the first one, so we're going to have no issues. We'll keep trying. It'll just happen with the second one, and if it doesn't, we'll follow the exact same steps that we did with him, and you know, we'll do the surgery and we'll do these meds, and then we're going to get pregnant. And that was not the case. Not the reality.
Yeah. So we did. You know, like Kylie said, we tried naturally for 4 years, and then it got to the point of, okay, like enough's enough. Like, how do we make this happen again?
Yeah.
So we went back to our incredible friends
at Nashville Fertility. They're awesome. I actually just got a phone call from them yesterday, which sparked a little bit of PTSD. But it was a good phone call. It was positive, but I saw that, you know, Nashville Fertility show up on my phone, and my heart started to beat. I was like, oh my gosh. So
we did four IUIs.
Yeah, so after like a year, I think, of trying naturally, we went back to them, and they said, you know, let's get you on some medication. Let's
4 years of trying.
Yeah, let's try the IUIs, and we were a little skeptical just because they never worked with Leighton. I realize I keep saying I'm an English teacher too, like that's terrible. Sorry. So yeah, we were skeptical with the IUIs because.
But we did think,
worked.
Yeah, but we did think, again, kind of naive, that, you know, obviously we'd had Leighton, so maybe there'd been like a clean out,
a reset of my body.
A reset, I guess, and that wasn't the case. So, you know, we did the 4 IUIs again, as we were not pushed towards, but kind of, it was.
That was sort of our only option at that point. But even within I guess it was almost like a 2-year process of when we were doing all of the IUIs. I developed cysts on my ovaries too, which was something that had not happened with Leighton.
Yeah.
I one day just felt like I had cramps, and it was really, you know, just kind of painful, and I sort of went throughout the day. I went shopping with my girlfriend, and just every, you know, 15-20 minutes I was just like, oh, like I don't feel great, like something's not right. And so that night, it was a Sunday night, it was like right before Christmas break. I'm a teacher, so kind of winding down for Christmas break, and it was a Sunday night, and I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk. I mean, I
thought it was appendicitis.
I was physically in so much pain, I was crying, and Dan can testify, I feel like I have a pretty high pain tolerance.
Yeah, she has a pretty high pain tolerance.
But he was like, okay, this is ridiculous, like we gotta go to the ER. So it was like, of course, 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. Our neighbors, who are our best friends, they came over and grabbed our son, and we took off to the hospital, and it ended up being a cyst on my ovary, which I had never experienced anything like that before. And I know a lot of women, that's their norm, and I know that there's a diagnosis for that. And so that, again, was just like another setback, another thing, you know, and with infertility, everything is related to your cycle. So then it was like, okay, you gotta wait for a normal cycle, then after that normal cycle, we can start medicine again. Well, that's 2 more months. And then what's weird is the same thing happened again. I got another cyst, but it was on the other ovary, and so my doctor was really surprised, and, you know, again, hurry up and wait, gotta wait for another cycle, gotta wait till it's normal. What is normal for someone who's going through infertility? You know, what does that even look like? So that was really frustrating. It was just that added layer of like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? Like, why is this not happening for us? And, you know, in the meantime, we had been talking about a baby, talking about all that stuff. So our son was at an age where he was kind of picking up on that a little bit. And
he used to, so we have a shopping complex just down the road, and every time we used to go there, they have like a water fountain where people throw, you know, coins in and make wishes.
Gosh.
And every time we used to go there, he used to ask for, hey daddy, can I have a coin to throw in? And every time he used to wish, I just want a baby brother or a baby sister. I think it was brother, actually. It was always brother, because then when we told him he was having a sister, he was like, no, I want a brother.
Yeah, he did. He would always wish for just a baby or a sibling. So, you know, that's heartbreaking. And it's, again, with secondary infertility, there's this weird feeling, because it's almost like you can't allow yourself to be sad, or at least I felt like that, because I felt guilty.
Because we already had one.
We had this beautiful child, and, you know, we have friends that couldn't get pregnant, or were experiencing miscarriages and loss. And, you know, again, with infertility, there's so many layers that one story, one size doesn't fit all. So it was this weird, I don't know if you felt like this, but it was this weird internal, like, struggle of, like, just be happy. You have Leighton. Leighton's great. He's wonderful.
Well, and people say that as well. You know, when you talk to people, you know, relatives, friends, you know, it almost feels like you're complaining, you know, but you're really not. And they always try and make you feel better by, at least you have one. Like, it's like, yeah, we do, and we know other people. You know, some people can't have any. You know, so we did feel extremely lucky, but it was just, you know, there was just something that we wanted another one.
Yeah, we knew that our family wasn't complete, and so I almost felt like I wasn't allowed to be sad, or like to be upset about that, because then I was this horrible person because I did have a child. So the secondary infertility was really, it was a whole different experience than,
whole different ballgame
than going through it with Leighton, because we had that added layer of having a child.
And then, so moving back to the procedures, then we had.
Oh, we did the surgery again,
yeah,
too.
so I don't know if you remember in the first video, Kylie talked about having a laparoscopy, and, you know, we felt like that was the kickstart, the fix, because, you know, on our own, then we got pregnant a few months later. So we did the laparoscopy again, hoping that we can get rid of some of those cobwebs.
Oh my gosh.
But that didn't help. So now we were at the point of, okay, well, we've done everything that we did with Leighton, and then we got pregnant with Leighton, and we're not pregnant now, so what's going on? Like, what have we done wrong? Like, what's the next steps? And then that's when it started to get really disheartening of...
Yeah, and as, like, a man and a woman, and two people that have conceived a child naturally, you know, you just feel like this is what our bodies are supposed to be able to do. Like, are we broken? Did we fail? Did we eat something? Did we drink something? You know, you start playing this, like, you go down this rabbit hole of, like, what did we do to cause this? And it caused some stress, and I think definitely some turmoil in our marriage too, because it's not like I blamed you or you blamed me. We almost kind of blamed ourselves, and then it just was this, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, and then, you know, we went down the next step, and that was IVF.
So we were pretty much our last option, if you will.
And if
or
anyone,
we thought our last option, because there are other options, but for us, it was IVF. Which
yeah,
is,
and another added, I don't want to say added stress of IVF, but it's very different here than it is back home. So, as you know, England, we have the NHS, so it's the National Health Service, and you get one IVF go free in England. Here, very different experience. You know, you're looking at anything up of $35,000-$40,000 for the procedure. So, you know, obviously then you're looking at your insurance and is it covered, and I'm extremely fortunate where my insurance does cover
well,
the majority
so
of
thought.
but you know, we were lucky enough where we had the means and insurance to cover us for most, if not all, of it. But that's a whole other story. So we decided on the IVF. We went through all the, you know, the testing that you have to do, and the first step of the IVF is going and doing my trip, going to my closet,
visit.
going to my special closet and having some alone time, and then obviously them doing the, I guess, retrieval?
Well, even before that, so we met with our doctor January of 2020 last year. So we all know that 2020 was...
something happened, didn't it?
Yeah, there was something
that happened.
Something happened in 2020, I can't remember. So we met with our doctor in January, you know, as soon as the insurance kicked in and I could roll over into his insurance. We made that appointment, and our doctor was like, yep, absolutely, IVF, you guys are candidates. We don't even have to do, you know, a lot of the XYZ beforehand because you guys are there, you're ready to go. So we set up that appointment, we kind of got the ball rolling, met with our nurse, who was phenomenal.
Awesome.
She was fantastic. She was just kind of, you know, not only from a medical standpoint, but from an emotion. She was almost like a therapist.
She was.
Just was super
she was like
helpful.
family at the end.
Yeah, and so anyway, we kind of got the ball rolling, ordered medication, and if anybody's gone through IVF before,
it's a
lot of meds, and we didn't realize too.
And it's
like,
still half of it's still in the fridge.
Oh yeah, like, and it's prescribed to me, and it's very specific medication. So it was very expensive too. We were not
about $11,000.
We were a little blindsided on that.
Yeah.
And again, we just feel so lucky and so fortunate that we were able to do this for ourselves, because we know that not everybody has the means and the insurance and the money and financially, because it's a lot. It's a lot. So, but not only that too, we had a lot of support from, you know, emotionally and that kind of stuff from our families and from our friends, and we had a tribe. I think we had a village behind us, and that was really important too. So we started the medication for the egg retrieval. So the first part of IVF, in vitro fertilization, is they actually take my eggs out, and they take Dan's sperm and they fertilize the eggs in a petri dish, our little science miracle baby. But it's all done, you know, outside, and then they actually put the embryos back in to me. So we started the medication. I had to give myself I had to give myself shots every day, 2 or 3 shots in the morning, 2 or 3 shots at night into my stomach area. I'd kind of grab my stomach and poke myself with these little insulin needles. So it wasn't painful, it was just something that I kind of had to get used to. But you know, that was difficult too, making sure that I had the right medication at the right days, at the right times, following this chart that my nurse gave me. And then, you know, with that comes blood draws every other day, driving to the doctor's office. I'm working full time. You know, we've got a 4-year-old.
And I will say,
a lot.
I will say on the guy's side. So for all of you out there who are going through this or will be going through this, there does come a stage when, you know, you start feeling bad, because there's one thing that you're there for. And
no, you're there for emotional support.
I'm talking about in terms of science.
No, I know that.
But you know, you see all the things that your wife is going through and the things that she has to do to her body, and you know, realistically, I go to my special cupboard have a wicked time, and I'm done. You know, so I'm seeing Kylie giving herself shots, and for anyone that knows me out there, I have a huge phobia of needles.
Like, deathly afraid.
So we will talk on that part when I have to give her the shots.
Yeah.
A little bit down, like later on in the video.
So the medication that I was taking at the time was to hopefully boost my egg count. The follicles make them grow faster, stronger. Everything's bigger, faster, stronger, more with IVF. The more you have, the more opportunities for a successful embryo. So we got to the point where we were about ready to do the egg retrieval. We had one last appointment with our doctor, and he did an ultrasound, and he went, huh.
That wasn't a good sign.
And we were like, what? And he said, well, the way your body reacted to this medication, it happened so quickly. I
was expecting more.
I was expecting more eggs. And we were like, okay.
And then we
only had like 8.
8 eggs.
And he was expecting like
40.
15 to 20.
No, I think it was a lot more. I think typically it's high end.
Oh, I don't remember that. Whatever it was, he was expecting a lot more. And so he was like, well, we can cancel this cycle and wait till the next one. And he was like, I'll leave you guys up to that. And he walked out of the office, and I started sobbing because I was like, what?
And then this is when I came back in again of like, it's gonna work, don't worry, we've got this. We've been here before with these small chances.
We talked for like 2 or 3 minutes, and really it was never a question of canceling that cycle, because in our minds it would have been like, well, what if? Well, what if the next one we only got 1 egg? You know, some women kill for 1 egg.
And for those of you that don't know the numbers, so you know, when you start, whatever the starting number is on the egg, so let's just say we were at 8, then they do the testing of which ones are viable.
It's quality, so you know, of the 8, your quality successful eggs might only be 6. So
they say it's meant to be 50%, so it goes from 8 to 4.
Kind of like upside down. What do they say? Upside down triangle. So like you start with a ton, and then
you filters down into the few. So in terms of their numbers, we should have realistically gone from 8 to 4 to 2, and then hopefully one of those 2 would take. But we actually went from 8 to 6 to 5,
which is huge. Like statistically, that doesn't happen.
So we were lucky with that. So we had 5 options, and we had 3 boys and 2 girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we made it to March 8th, which was our egg retrieval day. It was a Sunday. We had to drive downtown into Nashville. The president or somebody was there that day, so like the highway was closed. We were freaking out. We were late to the appointment. Like everything that could have gone wrong that day went wrong. So we were like, okay, we're doomed. But so they did the retrieval. They got 8 eggs, I think, and then 6 of them were able to be fertilized, and of the 6, 5 of them made it to the stage where they can send them off for genetic testing. We chose to do genetic testing because we were spending so much time and money and effort into these embryos that we wanted to really make sure that they were quality, because it would have been so disappointing to put in, I don't want to say a bad embryo, but like, you know, to not know. So for us, it was really important to do genetic testing. Some people choose not to do that, but again, you know, the amount of time, money, effort, love that we had put into this, we really wanted to make sure that they were quality embryos. Yeah. So we got them sent off for genetic testing, and then that's when that thing happened. What was it? Oh, the world shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the entire world stopped. We got our little embryos frozen, so we were weirdly at a good spot to have to pause things. So for us, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. It delayed us 2 or 3 months, but
then I got to put my scrubs on.
Dr. Dan.
I got to act like a doctor. I had to carry clipboards for people and full scrubs.
Kind of middle of June, we got the go-ahead that we could start picking things back up again. So we started the meds. We started Progesterone Shots, which is where Dan had to.
So the doctor drew 2 circles on the side of Kylie's lower back, and every day I had to.
Every night.
Had to stick a needle in, and I can always remember.
Acts like it was the worst thing ever for him to have to jab his wife with.
It was.
A needle.
Not because of the reason you think, but because I just don't like needles. But I can remember the first one I had the needle, and I can't look at the needles, so I was looking away, and Kylie was looking in the mirror, and she goes, what are you looking at? I was like, I can't look.
He had his eyes closed. I was like, no, this is not gonna work.
So I had to man up.
Yeah,
And,
and then he did, and I was really proud. What did I say?
it was funny
afterwards?
because it was funny because normally it would be like the guy's like, are you okay? You okay? You just you just had an
Good
injection,
job.
and it was the complete opposite kind. I was shaking and kind
Yeah,
of.
I turned around. I was like, "Babe, are you okay? Like, I'm
She's
so
like,
proud of you.
you look
Good
white,"
job."
and I was like, I know, I did a good job. I did a good job. But I got used to it, and I actually think it helped with my phobia of needles.
Yeah.
So I actually went and I had a blood test yesterday. Didn't feel it. Obviously, now fully vaccinated, had those needles. So I actually think you may have cured me with my phobia needles.
So yeah, so we started that, and then July 6th, that was our big day. That was our embryo transfer. So we told them we wanted a girl. We actually got to choose, which is crazy. So
and for those guys, there's going to be somebody else in the room when you conceive. Just so you know, I actually said that to the doctor. I said, well, I never thought there'd be another man here when I was conceiving my baby.
Yeah, so we
but it happened.
Yeah, we chose to pick the gender. So like Dan said, we had 3 boys and 2 girls, and we chose female. And so they picked the best quality female embryo. And July 6th, we went back to our friends at National Fertility, and we.
How many shots do you think? I'm thinking about needles again. I'm so proud.
I don't know. I have them all upstairs. Maybe we can pull them out and show how many injections we had to do.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so we did the transfer. The hardest part was you have to have a full bladder, so I had to chug water, and then they're all up in there, and he's trying to make me laugh, and I'm trying not to pee, and at the same time I'm like, dear God, please, like, let this work. And my grandmother had sent me this little plaque, just a little thing on the shelf, and it said hope, and
you got it.
I brought it into the room with us because we just had to have hope.
Well, that's what we keep talking about.
Yeah,
we're trying to give other people hope.
That little embryo that just, I posted about it before, but she just had so much potential, these 2 little cells, and it was just, we were holding on to hope that it would work. And so I brought that little plaque, and they put it under my bed, and I just, in my head, I just kept saying, have hope, have hope, have hope. And he's trying to make me laugh, and again, I'm trying not to pee because my bladder is full.
Yeah.
And
I'm like the worst person.
He's the best person to have in situations like that, because he is so positive, and he does make me laugh. But other times I'm just like, oh my God, like, stop talking.
Stop talking to me.
Like, just, so the procedure itself was super quick. It was all of 5 minutes. They had Dan put scrubs on. He had to hold my medical file, so he felt like he was really cool. And then the 2-week waiting period, the dreaded 2-week window afterward of,
I know
am I pregnant? Am I not pregnant? I felt something. If I walk too fast, if I pick up something too heavy, I sneeze too hard.
And
my gosh.
And this was a very different way of finding out than the first way. So Kylie actually, they tell you don't take tests. So what did we do? We took a test every day.
The first day afterward.
Negative.
That was you,
negative,
by the way. That was all you.
Negative.
He was like, take a test. I'm like, no, it's too early.
And then I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days before we were going in for the blood test or whatever to find out, for 100% sure. She took one. She came in. I was working in the office, and she came in and she said, "Nope, negative again." And I could see her getting upset, and she threw it on the desk.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, now she's joking. And I looked down and I was like, oh no, yeah, it is negative. And as I was staring at it, the other line started to appear. So for those of you who don't know, it's like if there's 2 lines.
Our dollar store pregnancy test again. Yeah. I'm telling you, fertility is the way to go.
2 lines positive, 1 line negative. So as I'm looking at it, I kind of start seeing a line, and I'm like, I think there might be 2 lines. She grabs it off me. She goes, "No, that's just 1." And I was like, "Have you got your contacts in?" She's like, "No." I said, There's definitely. She goes, "Well, if there's even a slight glimmer of a line, it's positive."
Yeah, because
so she ran upstairs, and then there was a scream, and we found out.
Jumped up and down. And,
yeah.
So and then of course I took another one each day, and the line got stronger and more pink or whatever. And so then the day that our nurse finally called to set up the blood draw, she was like, "Did you take a test?" I was like, "Of course I took a test." And she's like, "And what did it say?" And I said, "It's positive."
Yeah.
So we were, thrilled with that. But even with that positive pregnancy test, I think a lot of the fear and the anxiety of infertility, I thought it would just go away, and it didn't, because then I was just so worried about a healthy pregnancy and, you know.
Yeah, and I will say at one point, this was,
we had a couple hiccups.
This I've had, you know, the scary things that happen in your life, and this was by far the scariest. So I think it was about maybe a month, 2 months.
I think I was only like 5 or 6 weeks pregnant. It was very early in the pregnancy. So.
We were at home and Kylie started bleeding, and it wasn't spotting, it was full on, you
heavy bleeding,
and I, you know, we dropped our son off at our friends. We rushed to the hospital, and obviously the worst things are going through your head of, oh, you know, what's going to happen. And then when we got there with COVID,
there were still restrictions on our hospital, so
I wasn't allowed in, so I had to
in.
sit outside on a bench. And I can just remember I was in just floods of tears of...
We were just thinking the worst. We thought, absolutely, this is it. Like,
and for me, it was the hardest thing was knowing that Kylie's in there on her own, and if they were to say, you know, you've lost the baby, I wouldn't be there to console or to help. And it's the worst feeling. You feel so helpless. And I can just remember being on the phone to our friends and my mum and dad, and just bawling of like, this is ridiculous, I can't believe I can't be in there with her.
And I was worried about him worrying about me, because if that makes sense, like I knew that he was going to be a mess and that he felt guilty that he couldn't be there, and it was nobody's fault. It just is what
it was. Like something out of a movie, like, you know, I was sit outside on the bench and there was a glass window between us and she was on the other side, and you know, we were like holding hands on the window, and you know, and then obviously she came out, and
both of our phones were like about to die, so we were trying to, you know,
and then we came out, and you know, fortunately it was
the side effect of an IVF pregnancy was some bleeding, and it was,
but this was
something we didn't know about, but luckily they were able to find her heartbeat, and it was super
so
early.
If any of you have that experience, don't panic.
I mean, every experience is different. Well, I didn't panic. That's like,
I mean, but don't think
don't
the worst. Again, hope.
So,
you know, we keep going on about it, but that's really what it is, and you know, we're glad that we've shared both of our journeys with you. And you want to go grab her?
She's probably asleep, but yeah, I'll go get her. So
you go get her.
Yeah, so flash forward nine blissful months of pregnancy.
She was a peach. No?
What?
Okay.
Oh yeah, the morning sickness, the vomiting.
Yeah.
Dan loved it.
But again, I'm so grateful I'm a man. It's definitely easier for us guys. I can promise you that. And she can't hear me right now, so, but she, she's an absolute rock star. Like, the stuff that she went through for us was phenomenal. And here is what we made.
Science is pretty awesome. And love.
Yeah.
So this is
baby Hadley.
Hadley. This is Hadley Nora.
Cheeks for weeks.
Cheeks for weeks. Our chunky girl. And she has just completed. Is she completed? Are we having more kids?
Oh, we're done. We're done. That could be a whole long video if that happens.
But this is our little Hadley girl, little sis. And she's just been, I don't want to say it out loud in the universe, but she's been a great baby.
Yeah, so
really
she should
good.
be for everything that we did.
Yeah.
We've already told her she's not having a car, or all that money was
a wedding.
spent.
We're like girlfriends.
She's done.
Yeah.
She's on her own the day she can walk. But no, guys, thanks so much for joining our video. If there's other things that you would like us to do, talk about, or you know, make videos for you of something, let us know. Comment. We try and respond to comments, messages that we're getting. Again, thanks so much to everybody that supported us through this.
Yeah, your feedback has just been so great.
Yeah, as you can see in the comments, the Millers are a big part of this. So to you guys, we love you so much. If you haven't subscribed to their videos yet and you found us some other way, subscribe. They're awesome. They're the reason that we're here. And again, just hope. That's what it is. If you're going through the troubles that we had, or you're going through your own troubles, you know, that's all you can do. You know, there's not a lot of things that you can do to change what the world wants to happen. So just hope. Anything else?
think so.
Keep your eyes open for our next video. This one will, well, yeah, the next video will be probably Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll shoot for Wednesday. But if there's anything you want to see from us, like I said, comment below. You know, maybe it's us building a house, or bringing this one up with a 5-year-old, or I think we're going to do some stuff when we go back to England. We're going to England in June, so I'm going to do some things over there, like traveling with children and things that you must have. So we found some pretty cool things that help with traveling. So,
all right, guys.
we love you guys. We'll see you soon.